Good morrow, esteemed listeners, and welcome once again to History Bite, that most edifying of auditory productions, wherein we endeavor to distill the vast knowledge of history into segments digestible within 5 fleeting minutes. I remain, as ever, your humble narrator, Jaden.
And I, your loyal co-host, Joseph, join thee in this noble pursuit. Today we plunge beneath the waves to recount the underwater Cuban Missile Crisis, the grievous moment in October of 1962, when a single choice aboard a Soviet submarine may have diverted the world from fiery ruin.
On the final days of October, in the year of our Lord, 1962, the Soviet submarine B-59, laden with a nuclear torpedo, prowled the depths of the Caribbean Sea off the coast of Cuba. One of 4 Foxtrot-class vessels dispatched under Operation Anador to support the missile deployment on the Isle of Castro's Dominion. Surrounded by the warships of the United States Navy, 11 destroyers, and even an aircraft carrier, the B-59 found itself besieged by signaling depth charges, intended to compel her to the surface for identification, yet interpreted by her crew as hostile acts of war.
Believing war to have erupted, Captain Valentin Grigorievich Savitsky did order the arming of the submarine's special weapon, a T-5 nuclear torpedo, prepared forthwith for a launch against the American flotilla. Yet in this dark hour, the power to unleash devastation did not yet rest with the captain alone. Uniquely aboard B-59, 3 officers were required to assent to nuclear release: Captain Savitsky, the political officer Ivan Semyonovich Mazurkov, and the Vice Admiral Vasily Arkhipov, then flotilla chief of staff and executive officer of the boat.
An acrimonious debate ensued in the torpedo room, for Arkhipov alone stood dissenting, beseeching his comrades to temper fury with prudence and to surface and await direct command from Moscow. Invoking his authority and drawing upon the reputation forged in perilous service, Arkhipov prevailed, persuading Captain Savitsky to surface rather than unleash apocalypse. And so the submarine crept upward through the blue, its decks lit by American searchlights rather than the fires of Armageddon.
Upon surfacing, the B-59 was met by an American destroyer, which, unbeknownst to her crew, fired mere warning shots and shone searchlights, yet refrained from true aggression, thus allowing her to live, and by her mercy sparing us all. Thus, a bullet ridden from the chamber of global fate, for had but one nuclear torpedo pierced the hull of a U.S. vessel, the conflagration which followed might have consumed nations, continents, and the very hope of mankind.
In later years, Thomas S. Blanton of the U.S. National Security Archive would dub Arkhipov the man who saved the world, his solitary choice tipping the scales from oblivion to preservation.
And though the Cuban Missile Crisis reached its denouncement by presidential parley and mutual concession, let us not forget the truest salvation came not from the halls of power, but from the steel-clad belly of a submarine, where a single man's courage held back the tide of nuclear night.
We thank you for lending us your ears. Should our humble podcast please thee, consider subscribing and offering thy praise and review. Until our next historical rendezvous, I remain Jaden.
And I, Joseph. Fare thee well, and may thy deliberations ever be wiser than the perils they might avert.